I am Rattus Novegicus. I'm sitting in some shithole rat's nest and I'm a little angry. I wanted to be a talk show host, not a rat. You men think you have it bad with women? Well, I've got it a lot worse, let me tell you. What am I going to say to some nice-looking girl who I want to meet? I can tread water for over 36 hours. I can chew through lead pipes and cinder blocks. I can run on telephone wires. And what if I do get the girl home? Can't fit her through the door. It's too small. Yeah, I got a lot of gripes. How would you like to have a tail the length of your body to drag around all the time? Not my idea of fun by a long shot. And do you see the neighborhoods that I'm forced to live in? Those people live like pigs. Can't catch the subway, they haven't built it yet. Can't catch the uptown bus, I can't reach the step up. Hey, taxi! And everyone wants to kill me, feed me drugs and poison, put electrodes in my head, make me run on treadmills, dissect, bisect, and infect me, bind, blind, maim, and tame me. Are you folks crazy? You never invite me to your parties as if I would really want to go anyhow. Have you ever asked me to go to a movie? How about bowling? Have you ever seen a rat cry? I got tears, and I have a heart, and I've got brains, and if you could just see past the fur, I think that you would see that I'm a lot like you.
Rats. People hate them. People are scared of them. People kill them. They are despised and feared. When one hears the word rat, some words that may come to mind are gross, dirty, disease, or repulsive. There's a general consensus regarding rats. People do not like them. Historically, this negative perspective of rats has been held for many centuries. Farmers and homeowners hated them because they destroyed crops and damaged property. Cats and dogs were originally domesticated in order to kill off mice and rats. Like every animal, rats sometimes carry diseases, but were specifically held responsible for the spreading of the plague or Black Death during the late Middle Ages. Humans have been conditioned to resent these little creatures, and my family was no different. That is, until one night when I visited my friends Seth and Kay, who owned several pet rats. I walked home early that morning carrying a small cardboard box with some holes punched into the side of it. Inside of that box was a little gray rat named Dill. My mom's initial response when I first opened the box was a shrill eek, and quickly informed me that I'd be returning the poor varmint. But the next day rolled around and she hesitantly became more open-minded. We bought him a little mansion, some bedding, some food, a treadmill, and every other little rat accessory imaginable. Dill quickly began bonding with us, and in no time positioned himself as a full-fledged member of the Clark family. He was a smart little thing and very sociable. He knew his name and would watch the clock between meals. He loved being pet and held, and would sit on our shoulders and in our pockets. Sometimes he would ride around on my shoulder with me as I rode my bike. He was loved and he knew it, and he loved us back. We had Dill for a little over 2 years, a full, long life for a rat. In the last week he had stopped eating and began losing weight. He was acting funny and looked unhealthy. We could tell he wasn't feeling well and could see where it was headed, so we called our vet to ask about and possibly schedule a date to bring him in to be put to sleep. Veterinary clinics don't normally euthanize rats, but our vet had made a special exception for Dill. He was scheduled to go in the next morning. That night, his last night, Dill did something peculiar. A few days beforehand, he had taken his bedding from the lower story of his cage and meticulously pushed it into the corner. For hours he worked and retouched it, jostling and fluffing it until it was perfect. Once he had gotten it exactly how he wanted it, he ate some food for the first time in a few days, drank some water, stretched, and went to bed on the little pad he had made for himself. What was strange about this was that he never slept downstairs. He always slept in a little plastic house on the second story of his cage, and I had never seen him use the bedding for its actual purpose. But Dill was planning ahead. He knew his life was coming to a close, and he was making his final arrangements. When Dill went to sleep that night on the little bed he had constructed for himself, he knew he wouldn't be waking up the next day. He wanted to be as comfortable as possible in his last moments on Earth, and he achieved that. When we found him the next morning, he looked easy, snug, and peaceful. He was warm and cozy when he passed. In the short time that we had Dill, he left a profound impact on us. He was smart, genial, and very charming. I'm not encouraging people to befriend rats they find in the back alleys of New York City. They are feral animals and should be treated as just when found in the wild. But there is a distinct difference between tame, domesticated rats and the wild ones, and people should know the difference. What I am advocating is for people to keep an open mind, because what I've learned from Dill is that sometimes the things we deem the most unlovable can be the most endearing.
I'm not accepted by my peers, so what? I could care less about the quiz. They're fun, the chicks are hot, full of cheers.